Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So I was wrong about the market and I was wrong about Palantir. And I want to talk to you more about this. This is why I'm doing this video, obviously. And I want to go over some very interesting stuff. And today is a brutal day on the market. Everything is a sea of red. And yeah, I think it deserves some words so that we can all keep our sanity. It's a tough day on the market. So as always, if you like this content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to go further and support the channel, check out the Patreon in the description box below. We have already 3 Patreons and I'm so happy for all of them. You guys are helping a Swedish guy survive the European energy crisis. And of course, I hope you know that's a joke. I'm going to be fine whether or not you're on Patreon, but it's a cool thing to say. So here we go. Let's have a look at this video. The markets are crazy down today. It's one of the worst red days that I have seen in a very long time. Nasdaq down 3.83%. And here is what I have been wrong about. I'm actually thinking to set up a calendar here in my office that is going to be my humility calendar that reminds me that, you know, short-term predictions are super hard to predict and, you know, focus on the long term. And the reason why I'm saying it is because I made a bunch of videos where I said that I want to be on record saying that June was probably the bottom and we're going to go up from here. And I said in that video, or in many of those videos, that we might come down to the June levels and retest them. And then we're going to go sideways, not up, but I don't think that we're going to be going down as much as we have been, right? And there has been some things happening with both of my main stocks, Palantir and Tesla, that I want to take up with you. That is not, I mean, it's very extraordinary. And to be honest, even though I do this every day, I never thought that these could happen. And for example, one of the things that I could have never predicted is Tesla from one day to the next started to get real worries about the demand. And people seriously started questioning if Tesla is going to have demand in the future. And I did raise this problem before this came. And I did say that my main risk that I feel in my Tesla valuation model is we have never tested that there is a market for 3, 4, 5 million, you know, $60,000 average sale price cars on the planet. Yes, we know that currently they are supply constrained, but as they're ramping 2 gigafactories, we just don't know if this supports the business model. But for me, it was a tiny little risk. And, you know, they have so many levers to pull. They can lower the prices, start advertising, you know, destroy the margins a little bit. And to be honest, after the latest Tesla bot demo and after the latest, you know, data on FSD, I feel that the car revenue of Tesla is going to be a smaller and lesser focus. And in the future, because they will be so much software based with the bot and with the FSD, that it's going to be less and less important how many cars they produce per year. But obviously, currently, it's very important. And what has been crazy is from one moment to the next, now there is demand questions if there is even demand for the 1.5 million cars that they're producing, because the wait times went down to less than 1 week or 1 week in China. And in many of, you know, in Europe, I believe it went down to 3 months. In the US, it's between 1 to 3 months. And this really has people worried if the Fed has overcorrected and demand is suddenly going to dry up for Tesla. And I'm not going to lie, it's something that I also have to do more research on. Personally, I don't think this is such a risk because they have been raising prices and the raw material prices have been coming down. They are not doing any advertising. For example, in the US, Inflation Induction Act is going to be kicking in from January, which means that there's going to be government support to buy Tesla cars. So I'm not worried, but you know, when you hear this news from everywhere, even you start thinking, and that's such a change that I could have never predicted. So this definitely goes on my humility calendar. Now, with Palantir, the thing that has happened is they have had an amazing effing September. They sold for almost $700 million of government contracts. I'm going to do a video about this later where we detail how this affects them. And I think they're going to have very juicy surprises for Q3. Total speculation. There's a video coming about it. It's not true to say that the stock price wasn't affected, because what's really interesting is in the last period since September 9, the S&P 500 fell 8.7% to where it is today. And Palantir has gone up 15%. So that's a delta of 23% between the S&P 500 and Palantir. And it's even wider if you look at the NASDAQ, I believe. But there's still all this negativity, you know, in the mainstream media about Palantir. And, you know, if you would annualize the 700 million in government sales, it's like 8.4 billion. And Palantir's run rate is maybe 2 billion this year. So I'm surprised that the stock price is not affected more. So this also goes on my humility calendar. But in the current state of the market, I don't think that the stock price has to do with how the company is doing. Everything is about the macro. And the reason why we have such a red day today is because the jobs report came out and the unemployment fell, which is the exact opposite direction that the Fed wants the unemployment to go, and where the unemployment was increasing, travel and leisure industries, which is actually discretionary spending. So what this tells the Fed is people have still so much money to waste that they're just going on vacations and partying no matter what. And there is not even a sign of the consumer slowing down. And this is why the market is being punished, because people think that the Fed is going to increase rates much faster. And here's the conundrum for me in this, is that the reason why the Fed is increasing rates is because the economy is still too hot and is still going too good. And yet the stock market started falling on the news that there is going to be rate increases, and it keeps falling despite the economy showing itself way more stronger than it is. So I don't know. It's an interesting conundrum. Now, the very interesting thing is that we still don't know if I have been totally wrong, because we did not clearly break below the June lows. This is the June lows. I don't know how much you can see here. I hope you can see this. And we went below it 2 days. Then we had a very sharp 2 days up. And today is just below or at the level of the June low. So as I'm recording this video, I noticed that there's insane negativity on the market. So much negativity that me, the bullish investor, I'm also negative. And I just checked YouTube and I saw a video from Jeremy Financial Education, who's one of the biggest bulls and always buying. And he put out this video that he's even tired himself. He wasn't sounding that bullish. It just got me thinking, maybe this is the bottom, you know, when the last bulls are falling. And the funny thing is that if tomorrow we have a green day and we never break this, like for us to break the June lows, we need to go, you know, significantly lower. Or we need to go significantly lower, like let's say 5% more to clearly break technically that level. So if that doesn't happen, then this might have been the bottom. And I know this might sound crazy, but you know, we have always been saying that it was the growth stocks that led us into this recession. They were the stocks that, you know, fell the first. And if you look, many of the growth stocks have been falling since February 2021. They're closing in on the second year of falling. I mean, look at Palantir. So Palantir is closing in on 2 years of bear market. And then I've heard so many people say, and I think the same, that it's also going to be these stocks that will lead us out of the bear market. And if you look at Palantir, it has not gone lower since May level. It has found its base. If you look at many other stocks like Netflix, it's in an uptrend since May. If you look at Coinbase, I mean, there's so many examples. And you have the big giants, which have held up really well, like Apple, that is falling now. Contrary to what the news tells you, Tesla actually has been holding up really, really well and is just lately falling like crazy. And this could also be the sign, because Tesla is a very big company held by institutions. You have a very big support line in this range somewhere. So we will see what's going to happen. It might be that this is the market bottom because there's so much negativity priced in. Everybody's thinking that the Fed is going to raise rates forever. The Ukraine-Russia conflict is going to escalate forever. And any surprise to the good side is going to have an insane market reaction because everything is so bearish. So I might have been wrong. It feels like I was wrong and we are going to go lower, but it could be that at this very moment we are at the bottom. We don't know. We shall remain to see. I would be very surprised if Palantir falls below the May lows. That would be a clear sign that this bear market is not over yet and we have more pain to come. I have a very exciting video coming out about Palantir's Q3 hidden surprises that could come that people are not thinking with. So stay tuned for that. If you have not subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe. Check out the Patreon. That would be amazing if I could have you as a Patreon of this channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, ciao.